estamos aquí con Jon Gomm. Hi Jon, how are you?
I'm not bad, thank you for asking. How are you doing, Miguel? You okay?
I'm fine.
Good.
Is your first time here in Barcelona?
It is my first time,
really?
Yeah, so it's very exciting. I travel so much, and when I get to go to a new place, it's really cool, especially when it's somewhere like Barcelona, which is very exciting and has many things to see. I did some tourist stuff.
You've been here for a couple of days already?
Yeah, so it's
But you haven't been here in Alfasoni?
No, this is my first time in this music store. It's incredible.
Today you are making a clinic here in our house, but we also recorded you playing some demos with the guitar, and it's incredible, just amazing. But I'm guessing you didn't start playing like that when you were 2 years old. So how did you get to play like that?
I get really bored really quickly, and I get very excited by anything new. So my brain is like a 2-year-old now in that way, really. So when I was very young, I was having classical guitar lessons, and I never really had like a big love for classical guitar playing, but I learned a lot from doing that. But I also liked playing pop songs and stuff. But then my dad would take me to gigs, small gigs, but often blues bands with a lot of guitar solos. And then I really wanted to play blues and play lead guitar, but also I love the expressive emotion outpouring of the blues, and that's always been inside what I do, even though I don't really play blues anymore.
Yeah, it's very different, but it's very emotional.
Blues has this mixture of joy and darkness all the time.
Yeah.
So the English word would be catharsis. So the joy of expressing, the relief and joy of expressing bad stuff. The first time I saw somebody play slide guitar, I never saw it before, and I just wanted to learn that. So I played slide guitar, and then I got kind of bored of that, and then I move on to the next thing, which might be playing drums on the guitar that I see somebody do, like a flamenco player or a blues player. They would play drums on the acoustic guitar sometimes.
Just experimenting with the instrument, I guess.
Well, I was just copying them. I wasn't experimenting, I was copying them, or trying to, but it wasn't like YouTube where I could just go and watch them the next day. I had to try to remember what they were doing from the gig and figure out some way of doing it. So for sure, experimenting too. And yeah, every time I hear something new, even impossible stuff like 8-finger tapping, like jazz improvising like Stanley Jordan, which is incredibly difficult, but I still wanted to do that and tried to do it for a few months and then moved on to the next thing. So yeah, I just have all of these different techniques and so many different styles of music just all mashed together like stew. Paella, okay.
Yeah, paella. But you also take a lot of care about the sound, how you sound, because you've been practicing a lot with, well, this whole setup. I mean, it's something there. Because usually most of the players came with a pedal board and line out, and that's it. But you have a whole set over here.
So right now I have a new setup with a laptop, and I'm using my effects inside the laptop. It's brand new, so I'm still figuring it out. But really, the thing with sound, it's a lot to do with the techniques that I've used for a long time. So the acoustic guitar is capable of producing, I think, more sounds than any other acoustic instrument. Obviously, all the notes, and you can go super low and super high, really huge range.
Yes.
And then it has all the different ways of producing notes, just the same as an electric guitar. You can do hammers or pluck or strum chords, or you can do harmonics or slap harmonics or bend harmonics. You know, it's all
a lot of different techniques, a lot of different ways to play.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do, and that's before we even do get drums coming out of the guitar. And again, there's all these great kick drums and snares and even hi-hat type sounds. There's so many percussion sounds inside the guitar. So all I ever wanted to do was produce those sounds from the speakers, you know?
Yeah.
And it's incredibly hard to do that unless you take a microphone or 2 microphones and put them in front of the guitar.
By the way, this is your guitar, actually.
Yeah, it's my guitar.
It's yours.
You want
Nobody else. Yeah, I want it.
You may not have it. Yeah,
but this is also your guitar.
It is. So this is the Ibanez JGM
Jon Gomm.
The Jon Gomm model, I guess, although we never specifically said that. But and this is the new one. This is number 11. You're holding number 5.
Yes.
Which is the original one, but the cheaper version, although it's still super incredible.
Yeah.
So I have to tune that string. It was bugging me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I designed this guitar with Ibanez. I mean, anybody can play this guitar, and it should sound pretty amazing in any situation because it's a very beautiful guitar, and also the pickups can basically do anything you want. But what it can do that no other guitars can do, really, it will create the completely full sound. If you are the only person on the stage or the only person on the recording and you want all the bass and all the treble, this huge grand piano type solo fingerstyle sound, and if you want to use your guitar to create modern techniques like percussive things or tapping or harmonics, this guitar will do all of that stuff and also produce it through the pickups as well as acoustically, and also make it easier to play because of so many things. There's so many details in the design that all to make it easier. Do you want to hear what they are?
I want to hear the details, yeah.
Okay.
The first thing I've noticed, the first difference between both of them is this.
Miguel, let's do this, right? We're going to start here and we're going to go all the way down to here, okay?
Perfect.
So the first thing up here, we have the machine heads.
Yes.
So these 2 machine heads are locking tuners called Bill Keith D-tuners that are originally designed for a banjo, but it makes no difference. They just go straight on a guitar. They're handmade, very beautiful objects. You can tune your string to a higher note, whatever you want, and you lock this little black screw, which looks just like the screw in a Floyd Rose.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you tune to a lower note on the same string and tighten the silver screw, and now,
wow, okay.
It will not go outside of those places. And I have it on these, on both of the treble strings. I like to use it for melodies. And it's really beautiful sound.
Yeah, lovely.
It's I think of it like Jeff Beck with his whammy bar. I think the designers were more thinking of country sounds, like a pedal steel guitar or something, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, but yeah, they're super fun. And you cannot get these on any other guitar in the world, I don't think, ever in history.
I haven't seen it.
Very exciting. It's strange. Banjo players often don't have these tuners because they're very limited. You can only do it with open strings because your hand is here, right? So you can't play notes because your hand is here. But if you're a modern guitar player, we are happy to do
you have the other
tapping
hand.
And stuff. We have 2 hands, you know, and we're not scared. So yeah. What's the next thing we have? So the neck is mahogany with these pretty maple stripes inside it. And in your guitar, the 5, I happen to know because I really care about this stuff. Shit.
Yes.
It's mahogany with 2 Pau Ferro stripes in there, which is, Pau Ferro is from Central America, and this is Pau Ferro here as well.
Yeah.
And this is a big difference between the 5 and the 10 is Pau Ferro. The 11 is mahogany, and it's not better or worse. It's just a different sound. It sounds more like a Johnny Cash. Mahogany is more warm, more traditional.
Yeah.
I don't know which I prefer. They're just different.
They're just
different flavors. It's subtle as well. So the neck is a little bit wider than most steel string guitars to make it easier to do complex fingerings. People often ask me, how can you make it so loud? How can you get it so clear? And some of that is technique in my fingers, and some of it is the frets.
All right.
So the size and the material of the frets, they're louder and clearer. It feels different when you play a little bit, so you have to get used to it a little bit, but it's not more difficult, it just feels a little bit different, and it's better.
You get a more clear sound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's more. The neck is even a little bit longer. You won't notice probably when you play, but
no, not really.
tiny bit longer, so we get just a little bit more bass from the low tunings.
Okay.
The string doesn't go so floppy when you tune it a little lower. A lot of modern fingerstyle guitar players like me, they use handmade boutique luthier guitars, which may cost $30,000. And a lot of those luthiers are using these little differences. So not all of them, and some guitars have different things. It's strange because for many years now, there has been no guitar that you can go into a store and buy which has any of the features that all of the famous fingerstyle guitar players are using. This is spruce on the top, and the bracing is spruce, but it's thermo-aged, so it has been cooked in a kiln for super hot.
This one as well, I think.
Yeah, it has, yeah. And it is spruce, it's just black because I'm emo. And yeah, this one is
emotional.
Exactly. The thermal aging makes the wood really light, and it improves the sound when your guitar is new, in particular. So with acoustic guitars, they tend to sound better after 10, even 20 years. It's mostly water coming out of the wood, is what people say. And when you cook the wood and remove the water, it becomes lighter, but still the same strength. It's a jumbo size because I like all these kind of big bassy sounds, but we have changed the shape, so it's asymmetrical. So usually a guitar, acoustic guitar, is big circle, little circle. Yes. That's the shape, basically. But this is wrong. It's like Salvador Dali made it, except only a little bit, only a tiny bit. So you can't note, it doesn't look weird, I don't think, but but this side is more shallow, more thin, and this side is more fat.
All right.
And the reason for that is so that when you hold the guitar, you feel like this. Your guitar, because it's so big.
Yeah.
This one is not so big here and bigger here instead. And then it's bigger here and smaller here. If you look inside, there's a brace inside the guitar that you can always see in every guitar. You can see one brace, one plank, you know, and it's always straight across like that, horizontal. But in my guitar, it goes diagonal.
Yeah.
Because the guitar is asymmetrical. The 3 years process of designing the guitar was really amazing. They never said no to any of my ideas. Even when they were kind of crazy, they would say, okay, we will try it. And sometimes it didn't work, and we had to then not try it anymore. And sometimes it did work, and we kept it on the design. So yeah, it was very, very exciting.
Even though this is a limited edition, the guitar, both of them have the same 3 pickups.
Yeah, so in the JGM 5, 10, 11, they have the same pickup system.
All right.
It surprised me when Ibanez told me they wanted to keep the pickup system exactly the same in the 5. The pickup system, it's made of 3 parts. The magnetic pickup, which is a humbucker here,
right?
Which is the Fishman Rare Earth humbucker, and then the Fishman Rare Earth microphone here, and then the Fishman Powertap, which is a transducer pickup, which is stuck to the wood. Basically, the humbucker kind of gives you the strings. The microphone gives you this, plus a lot of pretty acoustic treble. The transducer, the way I describe it, if you imagine you're playing the piano, the grand piano, and then you lift the lid of the piano. Do you understand?
Yes.
And suddenly it's, wow, it's
wider
rich,
and
big. I call it 3-dimensional. I personally have the most of the humbucker, usually, because for my personal taste, I like it. It sounds warm and rich. It doesn't sound like the most natural acoustic sound, but other pickups give you that, because this is a electric magnetic pickup. Yeah. Actually, I don't mind that, and it gives me a distinctive voice, which is important to me, but other people might want a more pretty, natural acoustic sound, in which case they can do that. You can get your own sound.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can combine it. You can mix it.
But the other thing you can do with this system, because we have 2 outputs.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of them is a stereo.
One of them is stereo. So we have stereo plus mono, which makes 3. So I have all 3 pickups, the humbucker, the microphone, and the Powertap. They can go to separate channels on your mixer, if you want, or your interface, or your amplifier, and I can show you.
So you can mix them separately.
I'm going to show you what the 3 pickups sound like. So let's just have the humbucker. So this is just the humbucker. I think it sounds really pretty and rich and kind of fat, but there's nothing,
you don't have that.
There's nothing here. So let's hear the microphone. Now the guitar sounds more like an acoustic guitar, less electric.
More organic kind of way.
It has more sparkle. Sometimes it's called air. We call it the air. But you can hear it straight away there. And also, it can hear everything. What it doesn't have with the microphone is much bass. And there's even a little switch to make more bass or less bass on the microphone.
With the microphone.
And when I'm playing live, I have less bass on the microphone. The point of view of acoustic physics, it's a very bad idea.
It's not the cleanest.
It's not a good idea. So it's not a good way to get bass from your guitar. You will get a lot of low-end feedback when you do that. So what I do instead is then I'll add the Powertap pickup as well.
Okay, yeah.
Deep bass.
Much more deep.
Also on the strings. It's almost like a double bass or something, or it's really incredible.
Really low.
Yeah. It doesn't only do that, it also gives you a lot of, it gives mid-range from the strings, but it sounds like acoustic mid-range, not electric. With the 3 pickups together, that's my sound, you know? So that's my sound with those 3 pickups. But also, you can create your own sound. I have some EQ on the different pickups, some compression. I have different effects. You can do whatever you want with them.
They are 3 different separate lines, so you can mix. Separate. Or one of them.
Or you just take one regular guitar pickup, plug it into the amplifier, use the controls in here, and it's super simple. So you can be really simple or really complicated. It just depends what you want, The place where I've lived most of my life is a very poor neighborhood in the inner city, really tough neighborhood with a lot of crime and problems. And that's definitely shaped me and my attitude to the world, but maybe not in the way people are expecting. It's funny, my music is very progressive, sometimes complicated and technical. But it's really important to me as the kind of person I am and the background that I'm from, that music is also about entertainment, but also emotion is really important. And I like simple songs and simple music. So sometimes it sounds, or it looks very complicated, what I play on the guitar, but really the music is very simple. And also the way that I play, I didn't do this on purpose, but I'm doing crazy tapping and tuning with 2 hands and it looks insane, right? And I don't do that to show off. I'm not a show-off kind of person, but also I am aware that it is entertaining to do that. It looks fun and people like watching it. It's exciting and that's great too. I don't have, sometimes people say, oh, I don't like it when people play drums on the guitar. Just use drums. And I say, no, it's fun. I'm just one guy. I'm a one-man band. I think my drums, they sound cool. It doesn't sound like
It doesn't sound like a drum.
It doesn't sound like a drum at all. But it doesn't sound. It is a percussion instrument. It's not like just some joke thing that I'm just doing because, oh look, he's playing drums on the guitar. It's a percussion instrument. It's what it's for. It's a big wooden box. If you give this to a child, do you know what they will do? They will hit it because it's cool and it sounds good, I
read a comment on YouTube that says something like, Jon Gomm paid for the whole guitar. Jon Gomm is going to use the whole guitar. Yeah,
exactly. And everybody should do that. I totally love that. And also, it's really old. I mean, I'm in Spain. When I was a kid, my guitar teacher was a classical teacher, but he liked to play a little bit of flamenco. A little bit, right?
A little bit.
And he taught me a little bit. but I don't remember it, and I just remember the sounds. But what I do know is that in flamenco guitar, it is normal to play drums on the guitar.
Yeah.
So you have the rhythm guitarist, maybe they're going to play some. And then maybe they have the. Some of the techniques I use, I think, I don't know this for sure, but I think I stole it from flamenco. So like this sound. So I strum and I hit this with my finger. And I do this all the time, but I don't do it in flamenco songs. I do it in rock songs or pop songs or whatever. But all these techniques, they come from flamenco. And to me, being in Spain, it's important to say that and remember that, because it's not like, oh yeah, this is some new thing invented by guitarists on YouTube and TikTok. This is really old. It's very ancient. And it's yours, you know? It's not mine, it's yours. And I apologize for my terrible flamenco impression, but what I'm trying to do is show you that I do understand that it's your tradition, and I respect that, you know? So when I was 7 or 8 years old, my uncle went on holiday to Spain. He brought me a guitar, which was very cheap, but I still have it and I love it. Really? So a flamenco guitar, I think it's beautiful. I don't know why it's so good. Maybe it was stolen or something. I don't know how it was so cheap, but it was absolutely, I love the guitar. I still have it. And he had two books of Beatles songs. Right. But they were arranged for classical or flamenco guitar, but all the lyrics were in Spanish. So when I was a kid,
did you try to sing in Spanish?
I cannot do it now, but I was singing like, you know, Yesterday or whatever in Spanish, but I didn't. I was just reading the letters, though I didn't know how to pronounce it. Yeah. One time I was on a TV show in England called Guitar Star. Okay. And it was like a kind of a competition show, like the cooking shows or whatever, but for guitarists. And they would have guest stars to teach the students for one show, just one episode. I did it a couple of times, and one year the guest stars for that episode, it was me and Paco Peña. You know, the flamenco god Paco Peña.
I heard about him. I don't know him personally.
He's a wonderful guitar player. I got to meet him and say how much I loved him, and I had one of my old records that I had from when I was a kid that I took, and he signed it for me. But then, because it's TV, we had to film a shot where we walk from inside to outside to meet the students. And for some reason, we had to do this 5 times. Right. 5 times, I opened the door and held it for Paco to walk through. And then we had to have a little conversation so it looks natural. And after 5 times, it's really tough. Yeah. So I was just making stupid jokes, but I managed to make him laugh all 5 times.
That's cool, that's nice. So you listen a lot of flamenco?
When I was younger, in particular, I did, but probably not a lot because I didn't have access to a lot. So I probably listened to 2 albums a lot, but not many different things. But to me, it was much more exciting than the classical guitar etudes that I had to learn in my lessons, you know?
Well, it's very emotional as well. Yeah. Very different than your music.
And there's solos. Yeah. You know, like shred guitar solos.
It's crazy. Amazing. Just crazy.
Yeah.
And many different techniques as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Jon, thank you for coming here. I hope you make a great link, but I'm sure you will.
Yeah, thanks, Miguel. I had a really great time talking with you and showing you my guitar, man.
Yes.
Thanks. Okay.
But I think